Well, Jennifer Aydin is now clapping back again, saying that she's definitely not fired from Real Housewives of New Jersey, and she talked to Andy Cohen about it. We also have a Vanderpump Rules filming and cast update, and Rachel Leviss seems to have lost her podcast to her own publicist. Let's get into it. You're listening to No Filter with Zach Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's going on? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in, everybody. I almost said happy Monday, but it's actually Wednesday. Woot woot. Oh, Joe Mendoza said, "Happy Wednesday, everybody," realizing that Cooper Koch is it Koch or Coach? It's not Cock. Coch or Koch. That sounds like cock to me, but Coach, Coke, Cock. I don't know. He has a twin brother. Thank you, Joe, in the live chat for letting us know that. Oh, I am tired, drained physically, emotionally. Thank you for all the sweet messages. As I shared on Monday, Monday night was the kickoff of my grandfather's services. We had the rosary on Monday night, and then Tuesday morning, yesterday morning, we had the services and the mass, and it was very emotionally draining. I forgot how draining these things are because you go through all of these heavy waves. And I was holding a lot of it in until I think last night I finally just kind of had my moment. It's been a wild year, you guys, but I'm grateful that I get to show up here with you every day, talking into a microphone, spilling tea, giving hot takes, calling people out. Um, It brings me joy. So I'm happy that we are all here today. Um, Sorry, I am just really, it's been a year. But listen, we still show up, we still show out, we have tea to get to, and we will get to all of it. Okay. Thank you again. I know that the schedule the last 2 weeks has been a little all over the place, but I mean, now we can get back on track. I know even the Pop Report, we don't have an episode today, but we're going to get back into the swing of things. I promise. Friday, you'll get a new episode of the Pop Report. We'll be back in studio. We'll do all the things, and it's going to be good. We still have a lot of big plans for this fall and this winter. We're already like officially into fall. I had a little bit of a hangover headache today. I had a lot of drinks yesterday, but there was a apple cider. Okay, so funny because on the Pop Report we are talking about apple cider and how I was like we don't really drink apple cider, but one of my cousins, his wife Candace, she brought this giant jug of apple cider. And I was like, "Oh, did you bring this for me because of the Pop Report?" And she's like, "No, I saw it on TikTok or something." And so it was apple cider with tequila. I'm gonna have to tell Andy that one. Be like, "Andy, what's my update for the week?" "Oh yeah, my grandpa died, so I had a funeral that I had to go to, and I tried apple cider." What an update. um, so yeah, I have an update for the Pop Report. Oh man. Uh, Sydney said, do you there any health updates, doll?" Oh, Lori. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, "Do I have any health?" I was like, "Am I supposed to give you a health update?" I was like, "I'm giving you a little bit of an update." Mallory says, "Apple cider with tequila sounds good." It was very delicious. My mother decided because she loves Grand Marnier, so she put like a splash of Grand Marnier, but she put like a splash, and it was in like the jug. So I was like, "Mother, I don't know if anybody's really going to taste that," but Sharon said, "I just bought a jug of apple cider. We'll add some Fireball to it and drink it warm." Oh, okay. Interesting. Laura said apple cider donuts are good. I have cider in the fridge. Okay, apparently it's cider season. A restaurant has apple cider margarita. Yes, I've seen that on menus recently. Apple cider margaritas. Give me one margarita. I'm open my legs. Give me two margaritas. Oh, Sydney said, "I'm glad you got to try apple juice, Zach." Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what I feel like it is. I'm not in the colder states where they have, like, real apple picking and you drink apple cider. It's not like real apple cider, it's, like, from the market, so I whatever. That said, shall what should we start with first? Um, what should we start with? Yes, we're sending Lori lots of Lori is here. Oh, no, Lori said not good oh, great, not good news. My white blood cells are low, so I got a shot for that, and scans coming okay. Well, Lori, we're sending you love. You know, we're always gonna be here. We're always gonna be rooting for you. We're always gonna be sending love and prayers and sending you all the Jesus juice. That's what we do. We show up when we show out. Um, okay, not paid by anyone says Rocky, Rocky, Bang, Bang better protect her rocket scientist from the publicist as well. So let's get to the Rocky, Rocky, Bang, Bang, and then we'll talk Jennifer Aiden, and then we'll get into the Vanderpump Rules. Or maybe Pump Rules and then Jen Aiden. But Rocky, Rocky, Bang, Bang, Rachel Leviss, we saw last week that she announced that she is leaving her podcast and she will no longer be talking about Vanderpump Rules and she's going to be moving on to this new chapter. We saw that she has a new rocket scientist boyfriend, or quote unquote, really smart rocket scientist boyfriend. So she's thriving, right? But Rachel Goes Rogue is not really going away because the podcast is now just called Going Rogue. And guess what? Her publicist, Juliet, is now taking over the podcast. I'm like, well, girl, that's what did she I mean, what did she gain out of all of this? Like, really, I would like this pub I mean, aside from the retainer that I'm sure Rachel's been paying her all this time, um, or maybe Rachel hasn't been paying her and, like, Juliet convinced her, like, "Oh, give me the podcast and that'll pay me." I don't know. That's wild, though, that the publicist literally launched or, like, had Rachel start this podcast. Rachel only did it for a few months, not even a full year, I don't think. Um, and now the publicist has taken over the podcast. And it was about mental health and Rachel's journey, navigating out of Scandal with mental health. Like, that was the premise of the podcast was to be, you know, about, I don't know, how to find a rocket scientist. But could you if somebody would have told me that that was going to be Rachel's journey, that she was gonna find a way to represent mistresses and find herself a really smart rocket scientist boyfriend, I would have been like, "You're crazy." Right? But then Scandal was also pretty crazy as well. So I guess nothing shocks us. But Juliet's announced that her new podcast, Going Rogue, is going to be about pop culture and Bravo. Like, she's literally doing, like, what we do, what I do. I was like, "What? You're taking Rachel's mental health podcast and making it an entertainment news show? Like, what?" Because she's the publicist, right? She's like, "I've worked for Chris Brown and, in the Britney Spears era." I'm like, "Well, girlfriend, it's been a minute since Britney Spears and Chris Brown were at the height of their careers." So, who's going to listen to the publicist? I don't know. I really don't know. Najat says that PR woman is dirty. She's ruthless. Ruthless and toothless. Ruthless and toothless. Okay. And she's just like, of course we're going to talk about Bravo. Of course we're going to talk about Vanderpump Rules. And I was like, girl, nobody wants you to talk about this. Like, how I just want to know how this helps her career at all, right? Because she took on Rachel Leviss as a client, continued to ruin Rachel's reputation to the point where it's at this point unrepairable. Like, Rachel's gonna have to go away for a long time. Luckily, she has a really smart rocket scientist boyfriend that she can give all of her attention to. Um, but like, I don't know. I am just very confused about all of it. Because I just don't understand. I really just don't understand. Joe, she will slide into his DMs after this. Anyone want to put money on it? Oh, Juliet. Yeah, she likes to do that. No, listen, Juliet, this is a message to you. I don't want you in my DMs, girlfriend. No more. Not today, Satan. We've already done that. We've already played the game. I already tried to be nice and extend my invite to Rachel and have her on the podcast and do the thing. And we already tried to do that. Okay. Been there, done that. Oh, Pop Culture Green Room says, my best friend knows that publicist well, and I got some tea. What is the tea? I mean, do we even really need tea? It's not like she has tea that she's hiding out there. Like, If anything, she's making herself look like a damn fool. I just ah, I can't. I really can't. Zach has done that to Juliet, to Bill Smith, to everybody. Has done what? Pop off? Hmm. Juliet, nobody's, I mean, listen, the podcast is going to be hot for a second right now because everyone's going to be like, what? And they're going to want to listen in to see what Juliet has to say. But like, nobody gives a shit about Juliet's opinions. Like, nobody cares. If anything, she just used Rachel one last time. Everybody uses Rachel. Like, that's just what they do is they just pass her around from one to the next to the next to the next. Like, everyone just uses her, milks her for everything that they can, takes everything that they can from her, and then moves on. But I'm pretty sure the publicist convinced Rachel that this was her idea. And Rachel was like, of course, I'm done with this world. You should take over the party. You should be doing all this. And I'm just like, "Ah, I'm pretty sure that'll be the narrative that this was Rachel's idea and Rachel gave her blessing and Rachel wanted her to go rogue now that Rachel couldn't go rogue anymore. Now it's Juliet goes rogue. I'm pretty sure that will absolutely be the narrative. But the thing is, Juliet should know better because the narrative that they try to spin this with is that Rachel was so naive and Rachel was so impressionable, and that's how Tom Sandoval manipulated her, and that's how everyone manipulates her, is she's just so impressionable and naive. Well, Juliet, then you can't really say that she gave you her blessing. That's again my own speculation. But you can't really say that she gave you her blessing if you know, you know that she's impressionable. Laura said Rachel's a pass around party favor. I mean, she's literally rolling and smoking, and they're just passing her around. Oh my god. Brittany says, and Vanderpump Rules isn't even filming, so what could she talk about? We already know it all from the podcast, anyways. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. It's very weird. It is very weird. Watch her try to take a Molly McPherson turn. Who's Molly McPherson? Molly. Oh, she's a journalist. But what did she do? Oh, she's a crisis communications person. Interesting. Works everywhere. Professional, personal parenting. Also brings clarity during breakups. If you're struggling with leaving someone, ask yourself. Oh, she's a therapist too. She's a crisis communicate. Oh God, she sounds annoying. Okay. Juliet may have a crisis. Juliet is a crisis. She doesn't have a crisis. She is a crisis. Somebody called Bethany Frankel. This is a crisis. Bethany used her. Tom Sandoval used her. Remember, she was accusing Ariana of using her, getting all these opportunities. Did she solve Rachel's crisis? No. What did she solve for Rachel? She had her do a podcast that nobody asked for, and then she had her lean into Vanderpump Rules, which nobody wanted. And then now, like, I don't understand what she did for Rachel's career or for her life. I didn't seem like any of it helped at all. She covers a lot of PR issues and breaks them down. Oh, got it. So that's what we're thinking Juliet's gonna do. She's gonna be like, I'm a PR maven. Lee asks if Rachel's lawsuits are over. Um, it's just the one lawsuit against Tom and Ariana. And no, the upcoming court date is set for November 2025. So we have at least a whole year before we find out what's going to happen with that, unless one of them settles or she drops the lawsuit. Which, I mean, do we think she's going to drop the lawsuit? I feel like if she drops the lawsuit, she probably has to pay her attorneys, right? But if it moves forward, then I'm sure that the attorneys are working off of contingency. We'll see. Julia only showed the world how terrible of a PR person she is. Yeah, I just should drop it and move on. I agree. Just drop the. Yeah, she's got a rocket scientist boyfriend now. What could be better? She has a rocket scientist boyfriend. Like, come on. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't. But whatever, whatever, Heather. So we'll see what happens with Juliet and her Goes Rogue podcast. Wishing her all the best. Hello, 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 PE, hello, hello, hello. I'm talking about love. Okay. Well, on the note of health and, we want to make sure we're taking care of not just our mental health, like Rachel, but we want to make sure we're taking care of our physical health as well, right? And that's why I like Mochi. Mochi Health. Mochi Health is a telehealth platform that connects patients seeking medication based weight loss treatments with board certified doctors and dietitians to help them determine the best treatment options to accomplish that goal. Their program is completely virtual, meaning you can access their services anywhere in the US and will be meeting with their team virtually. Okay all online. So you don't have to worry about going to the doctor's office, looking for parking, waiting in the waiting room. None of that because it's like you're bringing the doctor home to you. Mochi Health takes a holistic approach to weight loss that includes visits with board certified doctors, nutrition consultations, and medication delivered to your door. So you don't even have to worry about the pharmacy anymore. It's science backed medication, including GLP 1s like Ozempic and the other generic compounded versions depending on what's going to work for you per your consultation with your doctor, per your appointments with your doctor. You can work together. It's affordable and accessible, regardless of your insurance coverage. And with Mochi, their dietitians work hand in hand with your medication to create personalized nutrition plans that fit your lifestyle. So, reach your weight loss goals with science backed, FDA approved GLP 1 medication, support from real doctors, and guidance from registered dietitians. If you've been thinking about Ozempic, talk to Mochi Health. Maybe your doctor can recommend it or something else that may work better for your body specifically. Help with it. They have help with making easy and sustainable changes to achieve the results that you want. You can get started at joinmochi.com. That's join Mochi. Mochi is spelled MOCHI. Joinmochi.com. Use code no filter and receive $40 off. That's code no filter for $40 off. Whew. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Pamela says, I come in a few minutes late and miss everything. Well, not really. We still have a lot to get into. Joe says, all aspects of our health mental health, physical health, gut health, psychological health. Yeah, vaginal health. Yeah, Joe, we want to make sure your vaginal health is up to date. Okay. What should we talk about? Oh, and the senior species health. Yes, health. Absolutely want to make sure the senior species is healthy. Okay. Jennifer Aydin has said she was on Vicky Gunvalson's podcast, my soul, my friend, my podcast, my friend, my soulmate, my podcast, something like that. And she told Vicky and Christian Gray Snow that she is definitely not fired from the Real Houses of New Jersey. She said, because nobody's fired her yet. She said, nobody has told her anything, which I don't know if is indicative of her coming back. She said, I'm a housewife until I'm told that I'm not a housewife. So as of right now, I'm under the impression that I'm coming back until I'm told that I'm not coming back. She's like, nobody has fired me. Nobody's told me that I'm not coming back. So therefore, I am coming back until I am told I am not coming back. And she's like, and by the way, I talked to Andy Cohen and I texted him to clarify that I didn't confirm that I was coming back, but that I expect to come back because I haven't been officially let go. And Andy's like, oh, yeah, I figured it was something like that. And he's like, well, as you know, no decisions have been made. No casting decisions have been made about the show. Sydney says that is not what it means, but okay, right? Joe says Delulu is real on that woman. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like Dorinda and Dorinda being on pause. I kind of feel like that's where we're at with this. Um, I feel like you should just assume that you're fired until you are rehired. Like you're essentially fired. If you don't have a contract, you're essentially fired until you find out that you're not fired, right? Like that's kind of how I would think, right? The opposite. Like I would assume that I'm not coming back. And when I hear that I'm coming back, then I can confirm that I'm coming back. But she says, I'm a housewife. I'm not a housewife, but I am delusional. Laura said, "I did see Teresa pushing SLE get rich quick scheme." Oh, no. She was? Listen, no contract equals no job. Thank you, Joe. I know. I know how contracts work. Or sometimes you have a contract and you still have no job. You're stuck in a holding pattern. Um, but yeah, Jen Aydin has no contract. But it's just wild to me that she's like, "Well, I talked to Andy, and Andy said no decisions have been made, and Andy said that um, I can absolutely ta I don't know. Ugh, I could absolutely talk about this, but I'm just like, why are you I just there's something about Jennifer Aydin, it just is chronically delusional. But I know that they've been interviewing a bunch of new women. So it's uncertain if those new women are going to be like a rebooted cast, or maybe they might try to do something like they did with Atlanta, where they got rid of a whole bunch of them. They only brought back Kenya and Drew, and then they brought back Portia. But then Kenya got fired. So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I guess we could say that about the OG Roni cast, right? Like they're not fired. They just haven't been told that they're not back yet. Is that how we're doing this? Is that how it works now? Joe said the more she talks about it, the likelier it is for her to get a renewal contract. I agree. Lori says Andy loves the attention on this. I don't think so. I think he's more annoyed by it more than anything. Um, Jen is like Michael Jackson. She always wants to be starting something. Was Michael Jackson always starting something? Was that I don't remember Michael Jackson always starting something. Dorinda was always starting, but I don't know if I would say Michael Jackson was always starting something. Whatever. Well, good luck to you, Jen Aydin. Like Andy Cohen said, I wish her well. And on the note of wishing well, Vanderpump Rules. It appears that Vanderpump Rules is not coming back. I don't know. Um, so let's see. The Daily Mail reported the latest updates on Vanderpump Rules, and it's not looking good. So, and Lala Kent was also just on Jeff Lewis Live, and on Jeff Lewis Live, Lala said basically what she said on my podcast a few years ago, right? When she's like, "I don't give a fuck about you, and you don't give a fuck about me about Ariana." So she is back to that. Oh, "Wanna Be Startin'" is a Michael Jackson song. Got it, got it, got it. Lorraine says, "I'm elderly. You're part of the senior species." Well, respect. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. It's time for Vanderpump Rules to go. Is it? So the headline in the Daily Mail is Future of Vanderpump Rules looks uncertain as feuding cast refuse to resolve their issues. The hit Bravo series was put on pause after season 11 due to cast clashes. Production hasn't resumed as producers are trying to find a new way forward. New cast members are desperate to join a potential reboot of the show. So yeah, I mean, as of right now, I know that they've interviewed new cast members, but it's uncertain if those are for like a complete reboot. Because remember at Vanderpump Rules, there was like a full on new cast that was filming at Vanderpump Rules, or they were at least shopping something together. So I think the production company is probably trying to give the network a couple of options. One being like, here's an entirely new cast, here's the new crew. Like, what do you think of this? And then on the flip side, they're also talking to the original cast, but I was hearing that, this could be the last season because apparently the cast is asking for too much money. Um, yeah, so according to Daily Mail, a few of the cast members are still negotiating their contracts. Producers have auditioned new cast members to replace the old ones just in case. Okay, so that's what my theory was, that I think they were preparing a potential reboot should this era of Vanderpump Rules not move forward. Um, a decision will be made soon regarding Vanderpump Rules. We'll see. That's one thing. We will see. Are we happy? happy with this being a farewell season. I thought that this most recent one should have been the farewell season. It's always what my prediction was. That's always what I thought it should have been. So, I mean, I'm hoping that maybe I would actually like to see this upcoming season be like a final short season. Maybe there's no more coming together for all of the cast. Um, or maybe there is. I don't know. Sharon said, "You ask for too much money, then you are out and you get nothing." Yeah. I mean, listen, the cast is probably preparing themselves so that they are good come the end of Vanderpump Rules altogether. I feel like next year should well, we do have The Valley, right? Sheena and Lala both signed contracts for this most recent season of The Valley, or at least they filmed for this most recent season. I believe Sheena's uh, a staple all the way through, and Lala filmed until she had the baby or until she really had to leave for um, to give birth to her second baby. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think a final season is fine. What I would love to see so originally I said, let's tie up all of their stories post Scandal, right? Let's have Tom Sandoval and Rachel Leviss fly off into the sunset as the evil villain couple. Let's have Sheena and Brock get a home, settle down, possibly move over to the valley. Lala, make peace, settle down, have her second baby, move on with her life. Schwartz goes and takes care of Schwartz and Sandy's and runs his business. Katie and Ariana open up their sandwich shop and they move on with their business. Like, I would have liked to have seen that, right? I would have liked to have seen them all go in their individual paths. James and Allie bought their house. Maybe they get engaged by the end of it. Who knows? That's what I wanted last season. For this upcoming season, I think we still have time and a little potential to get that done. Make it a short season, even if it's only like 8 episodes. Because if they can't afford the cast, right, then make it a shorter season, pay them an episodic rate, and listen, if it's sold to us as the farewell season of Vanderpump Rules, then I think we'll all tune in to watch what those final episodes will look like. But I wanna see there be some sort of resolve or no resolve, but we see them moving on to the next chapter of their lives. We do, like, the flashback montages, and not only that, but, like, I think we should have, like, a final scene at SUR with, all of the group. Maybe they all come together one last time, bring back Jax and Kristen. I doubt Stassi will do it. Um, I don't know, maybe they could get Stassi to do one final well, I don't know, she's not really on good terms with a lot of them. Um, I just don't know if there's much story or I don't know. But all come together, have the news servers at like this is what I'm telling them to do. Have them all at SUR, maybe not Tom Tom, but at SUR, do one final dinner, final whatever. Have the new servers be the waiters for that and do the transition the way Brandy and Sheena had their final transition. Or if we really don't wanna do, like, the cute send off, maybe we have, like, a final scene with Lala and Ariana, and let that be the final sit down, of them trying to hash it out, or they have some sort of conversation. There's this new girl that's coming and waiting on them and being like, "Oh my god, they're fighting," right? And then we transition into the new Vanderpump Rules, something like that. I do want some sort of transition scene, whether it's we get everybody together and we do one final wrap up celebration, or we do a final sit down to just hash out whatever bullshit. I don't know if Lala or Ari I think Lala would be open to that. I don't think Ariana would. Um, I think Ariana would probably be the most difficult one to wrangle for a Vanderpump Rules wrap up, to be honest with you. Um, but like that would be interesting. Or even if we get like a plot twist, we get a Rachel Leviss final sit down with Rachel and maybe Sheena. I don't know. Something like let's just get creative with that that would be good if it was Rachel and Sheena in a final sit down at SUR, because that's how we started it was with an opening sit down with Sheena and Brandy, and we transitioned from Real Houses of Beverly Hills to Vanderpump Rules. That I actually think, yeah, because I agree. Everyone, like Ariana's done. Everyone in the live chat saying they don't think she'll come back. I agree. She doesn't need the show anymore. I don't think she would. Um, but if anything, listen, we can get Sheena to do it, and I'm pretty sure you can get Raquel with a pretty enough paycheck to just squash the beef. Be done with it, right? Let her know that this is the final season. This is the final scene. This is just where it is. And let it be, right? Sharon says, I'd tell Lala to pound salt. I'd not deal with her mouth. Sydney says maybe a scene or something, but she's so busy with everything else. Yeah, I don't think she cares, and I don't think she wants to um, really do much with the Vanderpump Rules anymore. I think Ariana's ready to move on. I think they're all kind of ready to move on, but maybe the best way to sell them and hook them back is by saying, "Hey, this is going to be the final wrap. We're going to put a nice little bow on it. We want everybody to be on the same page with it." I think that would be nice. 'Cause then they can show something about her and Katie and what they're doing, like, just, you know, some sort of farewell. But, yeah, since we didn't get that farewell season last season. But I'm telling you, if you let us know that it's the farewell season, we'll rally and show up for it, and we'll watch, and we'll tune in, and we'll analyze and do all the things, right? But there are no plans. Apparently, like I said, there's um uh, decision will be made soon. I know last season they really did try to get back Raquel. They wanted Rachel to return. They wanted her to go unrogue, and she didn't return. I think she felt like she was going to be set up with the whole dog situation, which she probably was. Let's be honest. Another doggy gate. Yeah, maybe a big Sandoval concert. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they would love that. They would all show up for that. Ariana would be like, "Yes, let me sign my contract." Stassi would be like, "Let me come back for that." Yeah, but I do think that that would be such a great homage to the final wrap up of Vanderpump Rules is a Sheena sit down because that's how the show started with Sheena and Brandy. That I think if anything, Sheena and Rachel coming together, wrapping up their shit, and it's the opposite, right? Maybe Rachel's back to working at SUR because now she doesn't have a job, now that she doesn't have a podcast, and then she can be like, "Okay, Sheena, I'm done with this conversation. I have to get back to my shift." And then she walks back with all the new cast. That would be hilarious. And she'd probably think that that's a win too, knowing her. She'd be like, "I get to lead the reboot." Not that that would ever happen. That's literally just my own fantasy land. But yeah. Brittany says, if it's final for Vanderpump Rules, will the Valley get a third season? We have two divorces and a proposal this season. What better way to send them off? Yeah. Also, with their podcast, we can keep up with them. Yeah, I absolutely think they'll get a third season. I don't see why not. Why wouldn't they get a third season? The graham cracker peas on Vanderpump at the end. Oh no. Stacy says, bring the penguin that Sheena bought for her other dude. Oh yeah. Remember when she bought him a penguin? Because he loved penguins. That's crazy. Hmm. Dropping gems. We're dropping gems, Pamela. All the gems. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today, at least. It's been a bit of a slower news week. Oh, okay. Well, on that note. Oh, love the tea says, I like both. Ariana telling Lala to kick rocks or Sheena and Rachel sit down. Rachel literally broke up the band. Yeah, that'll do it. Did you get my email, Zach? I don't think I got your email. Um, I apologize if I didn't get your email. Sharon says they did a good job getting the Valley going before getting rid of Vanderpump. Yeah, because listen, now we're all invested, right? And we have Jax and we have Brittany and we have Kristen, and now we're kind of getting involved with like Jekyll and Hyde Janet and Michelle. We're so invested in Michelle and Jesse. Jesse is still so hot, like all about it. So yeah. We shall see what happens, but the Valley's going to be coming back soon. But as of right now, Vanderpump Rules is still technically on pause. But that's what I would love to see for they should make me a producer on this damn show. But that's what I would love to see for a Vanderpump Rules finale or a final wrap up of Vanderpump Rules. Okay, guys, on that note, I think that's all I got for you. I love you. I appreciate you. I need a nap today. But have a good one, guys. I'll talk to you again tomorrow, and then we'll have an episode on Friday to make up for the loss of the episode yesterday. So we'll be all good. All good in the neighborhood. Laura says, Zach, are you going to be on as Jesse's love interest? No, but I would love to. Absolutely. Julie says, you should be a producer. I would love to be a producer. Ask Rob says, as long as Raquel is gone, I don't care what happens to that podcast. I just don't think anybody's going to listen to it, to be honest. All right, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Give me a follow at Just Plain Zach. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zach, and stay tuned for new episodes of No Filter with Zach Peter. Dropping weekday mornings, streaming live on YouTube, and available on all podcast platforms. Love you. Mean it. Talk to you later.